Blackboard Collaborate Ultra offers several tools to allow you to interact with your participants online and in real time. So let's start with a tour of what you see when you log into a session. If you have not uploaded material for your participants to look at, people will see who has logged into your session, in this case, BB Training Preview User. When anyone logs into your session, the My Status and Settings button is immediately available and active. If you select this icon for My Status and Settings, you notice that I have the ability to signal if I'm away, if I need to leave the session, or how I feel about the material presented. But you'll notice that when you log into a course, Agree is automatically selected. You'll also notice that along with your identification of your name, your status, there's a button that indicates your connection settings. And as you can see, my experience for accessing this session is excellent. Although I can select my name and access my settings, I'm going to postpone selecting this at the moment because I want to show how to share your audio and video. Sharing your audio and video is very easy. To share your audio, all you have to do is select the icon for Share Audio, and once the icon no longer has the slash, your participants can now hear you speak. Sharing your video is also quite easy. Again, just select the icon for Share Video, and you'll now be able to see what your video camera is going to show, and therefore decide whether you want to continue by selecting Share Video or selecting Cancel. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'll go ahead and just select Cancel. The last icon you see in the content area is for Raise Hand. To activate this, just select the icon, and you'll see that not only is the icon active, there's also a number next to it. This number indicates the order of people who have raised their hands. Currently, to lower a hand, you'll have to reselect the icon again. When it comes to recording a session, the command will need to be activated manually inside of a session. So to do this, you need to select Open Session Menu and then select Start Recording. And the session will continue to record until you go back and select Open Session Menu and select Stop Recording. Keep in mind that if you do leave the session, you'll have to close out the session as well in order to stop recording. The Open Session menu is also very handy for other reasons. If you need to use your phone, you can select Use your phone for audio to prompt a phone number and a PIN number to appear. You can also report an issue to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. If you're like me and you just logged into your Collaborate session but you have forgotten where everything's located, you can always select Tell Me About Collaborate, and from its drop-down menu, choose to learn about or refamiliarize yourself with the Collaborate layout by selecting Introduction to Collaborate, or to learn about private chat. You can also see down in the very bottom that you can select Leave Session to end a session. But I'm going to go ahead and switch to the lower right hand corner to open Collaborate panel. And the first panel I see is going to be for chat. As moderator, I have the ability to chat with everyone in my chat channel, with other moderators in my chat channel, but I can also use the search field to find someone to chat with. And even if I just type in a partial name, Blackboard Collaborate Ultra will pull up all possible names matching what I just typed. In selecting an individual's name, I can now text private chats. And I know this because I have the title, This Chat is Supervised, with an I. And BB Training Preview User will also have this message this chat is supervised also listed in their channel as well. So I'll go ahead and type in message. I could also add an emoticon if I wish. I'll go ahead and just select enter. And you can see that our chat is now populated. If I want to go back up a level, I can select the tab previous panel, or as you can see, continue to add more to this private chat. So again, if I select the previous panel, you now see that my chat channels have expanded from 2 to 3 to accommodate the private chat I am now conducting. Next in our panels is for attendees. When you select the attendees panel, you can see who's currently in your session. You can also see their role. There's only one moderator and one participant. If you want to mouse over the little hamburger icon, you can see whether they have a good connection to this session, or moving over to the attendee control icon, you can opt to send a chat message, change their status to moderator, a presenter, a captioner, or remove from session. But keep in mind that removing a person from a session is more for the case of keeping an accurate list of people who are inside of your session for the purpose of dividing up the participant list for breakout groups. In other words, you don't want to have a duplicate roster when it comes to group work online in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Next, I'm going to show you is how to share content. Sharing content in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra offers several options. You can opt to allow people to view a blank whiteboard or interact on a blank whiteboard. You can also show your desktop or open up an application such as Word, Excel for your students to see live edits. If I go back to previous panel, you can also share files, which means you can share images, PowerPoints, and PDF documents that participants can not only view but can also interact with. Other ways to share content or facilitate interaction is to set up a poll or create breakout groups. But in this case, we're just going to show you how you can set up a poll for your participants to respond to. If you want to actually have your participants view material, you can select Share Files. And if you have already loaded up material, go ahead and select the file you want to show. In this case, Time Poll. Once that file is selected, choose the button Share Now. And you can see that not only does the slide appear, I also have these new tools that are now available for me to edit further. So I have a pointer, I have a pencil, I have the ability to do shapes, enter text, erase anything that I've written, and change the color of my text, shape, or freehand writing. But since I just want my participants to respond to this poll question, I'll go ahead and go into my secondary content polling. And you can see from my poll page that I have the ability to ask participants to respond as a yes or no, or choose from 2 choices to 5. Since I have only 3 choices listed in this PowerPoint, I'll go ahead and choose 3 and then select Start. And you now see a polling window inside of your session content area. You now see that people are responding to my poll. I can currently close the poll, which would allow me to reintroduce this poll again, or I can select Show Responses. Show Responses show how many people responded and chose a particular answer. You notice that once I selected Show Responses, I now have the ability to clear the poll and ask people to respond again. However, I'm going to go ahead and just temporarily close the poll and talk about attendees. The poll that you see right now just shows how many people answered the poll, but it doesn't give me an idea who selected what. To actually know who selected what response, I need to select attendees. And you can see now in my attendees panel that BB Training Preview User selected the answer 1 in the poll. To actually end the poll and stop sharing this slide, I can go into Share Content, and you can see that I actually have the Stop Sharing Files button. Since I want to stop sharing both the file and the poll, I'll go ahead and select the Stop command in the Share Content area. Next, from Share Content, let's talk about My Settings. In My Settings, you can actually change how you want your audio and your video to appear, as well as adjust your speaker volume and microphone volume. Scrolling down to Notification Settings, if you select its drop-down tab, you can choose to be alerted by visual or by audio when someone has joined or left a session, when someone posts a chat message, to allow closed captioning, or to signal you when someone raises their hand. But you can also change your session settings in My Settings. The drop-down icon for session settings, you can see that right now participants can share audio, can share video, can post chat messages, or draw on whiteboard and files. Keep in mind that when you create a session, you can actually deny any or all privileges. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and allow post chat messages and draw on whiteboard files. And next, go back to Share Content, where I'm going to share a blank whiteboard. Just like before, the Stop Sharing command appears in the Share Content panel, and it appears in the upper right-hand corner of the content area. When a blank whiteboard is now available for people to share, they can continually, again, write, draw, text, point, until you, the moderator, decide to stop sharing or revoke participant privileges. Currently, it is not possible to just save a whiteboard file. It is only possible to see a whiteboard file or read chat content through a recording. I'll go ahead and stop sharing the whiteboard and talk about share files. You'll see that, again with share files, I've already uploaded material inside of this session. At any time, however, I can actually add files by clicking and dragging an image, a PowerPoint, or PDF file into this hotspot, or select Add Files to add another file to this session. Upload times vary, with single files uploading faster than a PowerPoint file consisting of many slides. Also, keep in mind that when you're uploading a PowerPoint file for presentation, you will not be able to show any animation or multimedia interactions in the Share Files command. If you have multimedia, such as animation, that are part of your PowerPoint presentations, it is better to use Share Applications. However, once you have decided to upload a PowerPoint file just to share as a slide, again, you just select that PowerPoint file and select Share Now. And you'll notice that to the right, you'll receive a preview of all slides that are available for your participants to see. You can then elect to actually show these slides by selecting the first slide you want to show. And you notice that only when I selected a slide does it actually appear in the content area. So if I want to advance a slide, I can just go to the content area and select the arrow Next Slide, or I can use the right column and select the next slide I want my participants to view and interact with if I've given them permission. Materials cannot be uploaded before a session starts. However, there is a workaround to this. By actually creating a session that is immediately available, you going into the session, loading up the files that you want your participants to view, and then leaving the session, as I'm going to do now, going back into my e-learning, selecting the session options, and then going back and choosing Edit Settings. After I have uploaded the material I want to use, I'll go back into Event Details, select Start, and change the date and time to the actual correct date and time the session will start. Once I've done that, I'll go ahead and select Save. And now you have your material already ready for when you log into your Blackboard Collaborate session.